Most players think Rainbow Six Mobile has only two speeds, rush or play slow. But that's not really how this game works. Because good players don't just play fast, and they don't just play patiently. They change speed depending on what the round demands. Fast, slow, silent, even explosive. And when you learn how to move between those four, you stop letting the game dictate how the round is played. You start controlling the tempo. And today, that's exactly what we're going to learn. Let's define what I mean by tempo. Tempo is basically the pace at which the situation changes. Think about the attacker entering the building. If he spends 30 seconds droning, that's slow tempo. If 3 attackers suddenly breach different entrances and push simultaneously, that's fast tempo. But here's the very important part. Neither one is automatically better. Fast isn't good, slow isn't good. The correct tempo at the correct moment is good. And that's where players make mistakes. Some players are permanently aggressive. Every round, spawn, run, breach, swing, fight. They only have one speed. Other players have the opposite problem. They drone every single thing. Hold every angle forever. Wait and wait and wait, and suddenly there are 15 seconds left in the clock. Again, one single speed. Predictable players are easy to fight. If I know you're always going to rush, I can prepare for the rush. If I know you're always going to play slowly, I can take more space and burn your clock away. The dangerous player is the player whose speed I cannot predict. Let's start with fast tempo. Fast doesn't mean reckless, okay? Let's get that out of the way. This is very important. Playing fast means recognizing that the enemy isn't ready and refusing to give them the time to become ready. Imagine you're attacking, right? You drone, find the defender completely isolated. Nobody's nearby. He's looking in another direction. You have an opening. Do you spend another 30 seconds droning? Probably not. The information has already given you an opportunity. Now you accelerate, you push, take the space, force the fight before the defender can reposition. That's controlled aggression. Fast tempo works especially well when the enemy is either disorganized, distracted, repositioning, recovering from utility, or simply not expecting pressure yet. But there's another reason fast tempo is powerful. Human beings need time to process information. Imagine a defender hears one breach. That's one problem right there. Then another. Then gunfire. Then a teammate dies. Then someone enters the room. Every new event demands attention. Eventually, their brains start falling behind the round. That's when mistakes happen. They forget an angle, they reload at the wrong time, they rotate without checking, they straight up panic. Fast tempo creates cognitive pressure. You're not just attacking their position, you're attacking their ability to process what's happening at that moment. But here's where things get interesting. Sometimes the stronger response to chaos is doing absolutely nothing. Slow tempo is about denying the enemy the reaction they're expecting. Imagine you damage a defender. They retreat behind cover. What do you expect them to do? And what are they expecting of you? They expect you to chase. So they hold the door. Wait. They wait for a swing. And you? Well, you don't swing. You drone. You reposition. Maybe you attack somewhere else even. Now they're preparing, and their preparation was completely wasted. You see, that's slow tempo. You're forcing the enemy to sit there wondering, is he coming? Did he rotate? Is he droning? Wait, should I move? Slow play creates a different kind of pressure. Fast tempo overwhelms the enemy with information. Slow tempo starves them of information. And psychologically, that can be just as uncomfortable. This is especially powerful when you have the advantage. If you're defending, the attackers don't have the diffuser, and the clock is running down. Answer me this: why are you hunting them? Time is already killing them for you. Let them come. Make them take the risk. Sometimes the strongest play in Rainbow Six Mobile is simply refusing to give your opponent the fight they want. See, now we get to my favorite one: silent tempo. Silence in Rainbow Six Mobile is information, or more specifically, a lack of information. Every sound you make tells the enemy something. He's running, he's reloading, he's breaching, he's shooting, he's destroying utility. All of those sounds help the enemy construct a picture of what you're doing. So sometimes you deliberately stop giving them that information. Imagine you've been pressuring one side of the site. You've been shooting, breaching, making noise, the defenders know you're there, then suddenly, nothing. No gunshots, no footsteps, no breach, complete silence. Now the defender has a problem, because they don't know what happened. Did you leave? Are you holding? Maybe are you rotating? Are you waiting for them to peek? They don't know. And uncertainty creates hesitation. This is why silence becomes incredibly powerful after you've already created noise. Focus on that point, after you've created noise. Because silence alone doesn't necessarily mean anything, but silence after pressure creates questions, and questions cost attention. You can even use this during a gunfight. Peek, shoot, disappear. Don't immediately re-peek. Let them hold the angle, let them wonder, then change position. Now you're fighting the memory of where you are. You see, they're fighting your ghost instead of where you actually are. Now let's talk about explosive tempo. And this is different from simply playing fast. Fast tempo means consistently applying pressure quickly. Explosive tempo means going from almost nothing to absolutely everything instantly. Think about this. Your team spends 20 seconds setting up. Drones gather information, everyone gets into position, nobody pushes. The defenders become comfortable on their little corners. Then, line scan, breach, grenade, flash, two attackers swing, everything happens within seconds. You see, that's explosive tempo. You're compressing multiple threats into one tiny window, and that's incredibly difficult for defenders to defend against. Okay? Because the defender has to answer several questions simultaneously. Do I watch the breach? Do I move because of the grenade? Do I hide from the flash? Do I challenge the attacker? Do I rotate? Do I help the teammate? You want to create moments where the defender has more problems than available answers. That's the real purpose of an execute. It's not everyone attack, it's everyone attack at the same time. And now we get to the most important part of this entire video. The strongest tempo is often the change in tempo. Because human beings adapt. If you've been playing slowly for the entire round, the defenders begin expecting slow play. Their reactions slow down, they become comfortable, and then you suddenly explode. If you're giving aggressive all game, they start preparing for aggression. They hold your entry points. They expect early pressure. So what happens if you suddenly slow down? Now they're waiting for something that never comes. Maybe they become impatient. Maybe they pick you. Maybe they make the mistake. That's why controlling tempo isn't about choosing one style. It's about changing style deliberately. Fast, slow, silent, explosive. You're constantly asking, what pace is the enemy expecting? And then, can I punish that expectation? And if you're still here, then you're probably not looking for another generic, just aim better Rainbow Six video. You're here because you want to understand the game differently. That's exactly what we're building here. So if you want more Rainbow Six Mobile psychology, tactics, mind games, and battlefield control, subscribe. And if this video gave you something you can actually use in your next match, leave a like. It tells me that this is the kind of content you want more of. And if you got a tactic and a mind game, or even a completely crazy strategy, drop it in the comments, because the battlefield has more than one way to win. Let's figure them out together. And before someone says, but isn't tempo mostly an attacker thing? Absolutely not. Defenders control tempo too. In fact, a good defender can completely destroy the rhythm of the attackers. Think about Smoke for an example. The attackers finally prepare their push. Smoke throws the gas. They have to stop. They wait. They prepare again. And then they get another smoke. They stop. Their entire attack keeps getting interrupted. You see that? That's tempo control. Or imagine a roamer. You don't necessarily need 5 kills. Sometimes your job is simply to make attackers waste 40 seconds looking for you. Drone, clear, check, rotate, drone again. Meanwhile, the clock is disappearing. You control the tempo without even taking a gunfight. Castle can do something similar. Barricades don't need to be permanently stop attackers. They create friction. Break this, rotate around that. Spend utility here. Every obstacle changes how quickly attackers can execute their plan. Defenders don't always need to defeat the attacker. Sometimes they just need to make the attacker arrive too late. See, this is probably the biggest mistake people make when learning tempo. They think, I need to play faster. No, you need to play at the correct speed. There's a massive difference. If you have no information, slowing down might be correct. If you discover an isolated defender, speeding up might be correct. If the enemy expects you to push, stopping might be the recommended decision right here. If the defenders are distracted, exploding onto site might be correct. Tempo is not movement speed. Tempo is decision speed. You're deciding how quickly the round should progress. And there's another side to this. Don't only control your own tempo, you can absolutely read theirs. Ask yourself, are they rushing? Are they hesitating? Are they waiting for information? Are they getting impatient? Are they suddenly becoming aggressive? Because tempo reveals psychology. An attacker who suddenly speeds up might be running out of time. A defender who suddenly swings might be getting impatient. A player who stops making noise after a gunfight might be rotating. None of these are guarantees, but they're clues. And Rainbow Six Mobile is a game built around incomplete information. You collect clues and build the most likely picture. So here's something simply you can start doing absolutely immediately. Several times throughout the round, ask yourself, who is controlling the tempo right now? If you're constantly reacting to the enemy, they're probably controlling it. They breach, you react. They rotate, you react. They push, you react. You see, you playing their round. Instead, look for the opportunities to force them to respond to you. Make noise somewhere, go quiet, apply pressure, back away. Attack another position, maybe speed up, slow down. Force them to constantly rebuild their understanding of what you're doing. The best Rainbow Six mobile player aren't permanently fast. They're not permanently slow either. They're unpredictable. They understand that every round has a rhythm, and whoever controls that rhythm usually controls their decisions. Fast tempo overwhelms. Slow tempo creates uncertainty. Silent tempo removes information. Explosive tempo overloads decision making. But the real weapon is knowing when to change between them. So the next time you're playing, don't just ask, where should I attack? Ask, how should I attack? Fast? Slow? Silent? Maybe even explosive? And more importantly, what does the enemy think I'm going to do? Because once you understand tempo, you stop simply moving through the round. You start controlling how the round moves around you. And that's when Rainbow Six Mobile stops feeling like a series of random gunfights and start feeling like a battle you're actually commanding. Well, the round will end, the scoreboard will reset, the operators will change, but the lesson stays with you. So remember, think ahead, control the battlefield, make them play your round. Because victory isn't always about having the fastest hands or the best aim. Sometimes it's about being the player who understands what happens next. This is Agent Huntsman, and until the next operation, stay unpredictable, stay patient, control the tempo, and whatever happens, bring them home alive. I'll see you on the battlefield, Commander.